Okay. So good morning. Good morning. I pulled out my book that coincidentally Jeanette gave to me. One of my favorites from Brene Brown, and you've heard of her, right? She is she's a neuroscientist, basically, and she's done research on different things, shame and, people that are happy, why they're happy, people that can't be happy ever, why they're that. And so she's been quite famous on TED Talks. She's done TED Talks that have gone viral. She's really funny, but really insightful. And this book is called Braving the Wilderness. And I just wanted to share her definition of true belonging in light of Valentine's Day. True belonging. She says, true belonging is the spiritual practice of believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can share your most authentic self with the world and find sacredness in both being a part of something and standing alone in the wilderness. True belonging doesn't require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. So she's actually, um, done research on that, and that's how she developed that definition. So, we always think that it's true belonging is, your family group or your friend group or something like that, and that's important, and it's part of really feeling belonging, but it also comes from within, kind of dovetails into what we talked about last week, being having your mind, body, and soul connected. So just close your eyes, turn to your breath. And for me, when I feel like I'm really connected to my soul, I don't need to find answers externally. I just look inward to my heart. And I just kind of know what's right. It always doesn't happen. Sometimes that's not my first choice. But when I really make good decisions, that I'm able to do it that way. I also feel like when we're tuned in to we truly feel belonging, true belonging to ourselves. We're much more, I can't talk this morning. We're much better able not only to make decisions, but to see the beauty and the grace that's in everything and always around us. Please bring hands to heart center. My wish is that we could all feel true belonging. Everyone in this world would be much better off if they could. Please lower your hands, open your eyes. And we're going to start on our backs and have your belt handy. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Sorry about that. So just stretch your arms and legs long, like you just woke up. Oh. And then stretch your legs and your arms up and just kind of shake them out. Warm everything up. Ankles, wrists, knees, elbows. Shake it out. Good. So I messed up, but go ahead and hug your knees in. And just kind of move the knees side to side. And then go ahead and roll to the side and come on up, because I meant for you to put the belt underneath you. So bring that up to the upper part of your mat. And then you're going to lay on the belt, but you want to just kind of catch the low shoulder blades and the rib cage, the lower ribs. So you want it kind of low, but not below the ribs. And then keeping your knees bent, you're going to grab one end of the belt, just one end, whichever hand you'd like. And I'm always telling you, okay, draw your rib cage back. So see if you can draw the rib cage back without pressing your low back down. So kind of trying to find a neutral spine. So you're not trying to press the low back down, but really press the upper back down and feel the rib cage back. So it's like your low ribs kind of knit towards each other, and then see if you can pull on the belt and not have it pull out when you're doing that. Kind of hard. You have to really think about it. Yeah, good. And relax for a moment. Adjust the belt if it moved. And try it again. So I've discovered over the years, so think shoulder blades flat on the floor, but this is really key to having a strong core, is being able, so yes, you want to be able to flatten your low back too and really engage there. But if you can get the rib cage back, it makes it a lot safer. So try it again. So try to keep the curve, but draw the low back down. You can pull with the other hand. See if you're effective. Oh, breathe. And then relax for a minute. Now move the belt back to the low lumbar area, low back, where it's a lot more open, right? I just want you to feel the difference. Now you're going to press your belly button towards your spine and really press that down. And notice how you scoop your tailbone and you get really hard. And then again, see if you can pull the belt out. If you need to, you can lift your head and tuck your chin. Really strong there. And breathe. If you can still keep it if you lift your knees. Good. And relax for a moment. So it feels different, right? Is there one that's easier than the other? Yeah, ask yourself. Was it? Okay, well, that's good. The second one's easier for me, but so we all have that space. Now, really work hard to find that neutral spine and bring your shins up to, parallel to the floor. Flex your feet and try and keep that neutral spine with rib cage back, and just think long spine as you press your hands up and away on your thighs. So this, to me, feels kind of like I'm working both areas, but especially the upper body is really strong. Try and lengthen the spine clear through the top of the head. Feel like I know we don't wear girdles anymore, but you feel it squeezing front, back, and sides. Good, relax for a moment. Hug your knees in again. Maybe move the knees side to side. It's just bringing awareness to both areas, but how it feels when you round your back and how it feels when you extend your spine long without rounding the back. That's what I'm after here. Let's do it one more time. Shins parallel, flex the feet, neutral spine, press. And this time, bring both hands to the left thigh and extend the right leg to an angle that feels like you can hold that neutral spine and breathe. Feel the girdle. Or maybe it's the whole bodysuit one. Good. Bend the knee, switch your hands, and extend. Good. And release. Bring your feet wide. Just do a couple windshield wipers or whatever feels good to just kind of loosen everything up now. So just trying to help you understand what I am talking about when I say neutral spine lengthen. So it's an engagement in all areas of the back, even through the neck. You can feel it when you're doing it right with that rib cage back. Good. And then go ahead and roll on up to seated. You can move your belts out of the way and come to all fours. For you guys here at home, I'm gonna play some I love playlists since it's Valentine's week. Good, now come to all fours and see if you can feel that long spine. And notice how when you're doing that rib cage back, long spine, you feel hollow armpits and maybe a broadening in the front, so it feels really connected. Now, I call this sewing machine. You're just gonna move the arms in and out of the sockets. So just up and down, kind of warming and up. Right, see how you can keep rib cage back even when you're doing this. Good. Now pause at that place in the middle where you started and just move into a cow pose, but try and keep rib cage back. And then round to cat. Now you feel like when we put the belt on the low back in cow. And then just move through the two poses a few times. Move any way you want, just to loosen things up. Good. And then go ahead and take a child's pose. Warm up your hips, maybe your knees, ankles. And then Making your way back up, bring your hands on the blocks and make sure they're in front of your shoulders a bit, and step your right foot up there between the blocks. Line up, just warm up your legs a little bit, hug to the midline. Hands to the front thigh. And then see if you can draw a rib cage back here and lengthen up through the top of your head. Notice how when you do that, you feel more stretch in your legs. Hopefully you do, I do. And it feels safer, especially on the low back. Good, maybe let your arms dangle. And stretch your arms up. Don't let your rib cage, your low ribs pop forward as you extend up. And breathe. And touch down. And we'll switch. You can lift the back knee to go back to downward dog to switch, or you can lower the knee, whatever works best for you. And so right knee back, hands to the front thigh, rib cage back, really long and strong. You'll feel your legs work harder, stretch more when you're doing that. Feel that nice long spine. And then maybe extend the arms. It's a lot more work with that girdle on your rib cage, but it feels really safe everywhere else. Good, and touch down. Lift the back knee, step back to a downward facing dog. Now, downward facing dog, a lot of times we just get saggy in our midsection. So see if you can find that neutral spine, rib cage connection. Feel a little bit more stretch. Let your head come between your arms, but keep a long back of neck. Good, and then try not to change that as you move forward to a plank. Neutral spine. And push back, downward facing dog again. Go ahead and lower your knees. Move the blocks off to the side. And then come up to a downward facing dog without the block. And feel it again. Rib cage back, sits bones back. Low belly drawing up, lengthening through the top of the head. Good, come forward to plank again. And lower down to the mat. See if you can keep that connection through the rib cage as you lower. Woo. Good. And then stretch your feet long, stretch your arms long, and bring the palms down. I think this is easier to feel here. You can lengthen the back of your neck and set your forehead down, and then think long side body. Draw the head of the arm bones back so the shoulder blades feel flat. Draw the rib cage back, long back of neck, and lift the head and chest. Try not to scoop the tailbone, just use your feet grounded to feel really long through your spine. Shalabhasana. You can lift the arms if you want, if you feel it. Maybe even interlace the hands. Keep broadening and drawing the rib cage back. Good, and lower down. Bring your hands into your forehead. And breathe. That was a long hold for Shalabhasana. It feels so good when you have that integration. Now slide your hands back by your chest and try and do cobra that same way. The rib cage back, long back of neck, lift the head and chest first. And then think, I just want to make my spine longer as I pull my hands back isometrically, and then maybe lift. Don't scoop your tailbone because you don't want to make any accentuated curves in your back. So if you have the integration, it feels good. Lower down and push all the way back to a child's pose with your arms extended there. Feel good. And then come on up to a downward facing dog. You might have to readjust your hands. Just check your core. When you have that integration, I think you feel more stretch everywhere else. And it feels really therapeutic. Your body's smart. When it feels like a good stretch, it kind of goes, ah. You know you're being true to yourself. And now slowly walk your feet up to your hands into a forward fold. And just take a moment there. And then bending your knees, bring your hands on your knees, pressing your feet, and come all the way up to standing. Ooh, well done. Taste. Standing on both feet, I'm just going to have you feel that, and then shift your weight to your right foot and step your left foot to the outside of your right. And then keep weight in the right foot and see if you can feel balance. Good. And then notice your rib cage. You don't want your low ribs to stick out as you maybe extend your arms up. If you don't feel balanced, you don't have to add the arms. Keep weight in the right foot. The left foot is just to kind of hold you in place. And release. And wind. And switch sides. So now weight is in your left foot. Step the right foot to the outside on behind. Try to keep weight in the left foot. And then think nice and tall through the spine. Don't let the low ribs stick out as you stretch up. Lengthen the back of your neck, lengthen to the top of your head. Good. I know it's not as easy as it seems like it should be, right? I feel like I'm a little crooked here. And release. Step out. And let's go to the first side again. So standing on your right foot, step your left foot behind. Keep weight in the right foot. Stretch your arms up. Don't let the ribs pop out. And then grab your left wrist with your right hand. Pull up See, maybe you can arc to your right. Keep weight in the right foot. It's a balance and a stretch, right? Good. Come on up. Unwind. And switch when you're ready. Find the balance first, keeping weight in that right or left foot. Stretch the arms. Don't let the ribs pop out. Grab the right wrist with the left hand and just slowly arc. If you can keep weight in that right foot. And come on back up without falling out and release. Good. Now grab your blocks and bring them by your feet to the outside of your feet. And then step your right foot back to deep lunge. And then just lift the heel, lower the heel, feel a nice stretch. And then step back to downward facing dog. Extend your right leg. Think of core. And then think of belly button towards spine as you bring knee to nose, round up, and then step it through. Deep lunge on the other side. Lift and lower the heel. Good. And then step back. Downward facing dog. Find that connected down dog. Extend the left leg. Just notice your core. Rib cage is back, right? You're not scooping your tail yet, but when you bring the knee towards your nose, you round, you come forward and step it through. Good. This time lower the back knee. Same thing you did before, Anjaneyasana. Just feeling the core connection. When you have rib cage back, you think, oh, my heart can't come forward, but it actually can as you round your back, lift your heart. Good, touch down. Slide your hips back. Little hamstring stretch. You can use the blocks if you need to. Keep things lined up, runner's lunge. And bend into the front knee. Lift the back knee, downward facing dog. Then the right leg, feel connected, long spine, neutral spine, low belly's drawing up. And then as you bring knee to nose, you can add that scoop the tailbone really round and step it through. Lower the back knee. Anjaneyasana. Connected, long spine first, and then allow the heart to lift as it feels appropriate. Good, touch down. Slide the hips back, runner's lunge. Other leg into the socket. Stretch out the hamstring. Point the toe if you want. And bend into the front knee. Lift the back knee. And step back. Make sure your blocks are a little closer together. So just move them in a little bit because we're going to step to the outside this time. So extend the left leg. Feel the connection. It's a little dicier on the closer blocks, but yeah, knee to nose or knee to left elbow. Why don't you? And then step it to the outside of the block. Good. Being mindful. Everything lined up. Lower the back knee. Hug to the midline. I always have to turn my toes out slightly. Maybe I can widen the knee to the left a little bit. And then think really connected, long. So rib cage back, long spine. And then as I fold forward, if I do some more, you feel more stretch, but it feels safer and more connected. Your body says, oh, that feels like a really nice stretch, even though it's challenging, it's all good. Therapeutic. And just for fun, come back up on your hands, stretch your legs straight, hip back. So now you're at a little bit of an angle and just notice the difference. Maybe fold straight over, not over the leg, but straight forward. You'll feel a little different stretch. Keep your hips widening back. Good, bend into the knee. Lift the back knee, step back, down dog. Extend the right leg. Remember, you're stepping to the outside as you feel that really connected core. You're rounding the low back along with the upper back and step it to the outside. Lower your back knee. If your sits bones, your knees, your heels line up on that left side, your right foot maybe turned out a little bit. Right knee can come out to the side. Engage your nice long spine and maybe lower. Feel a good stretch. And then coming back up on your hands, straightening your right leg now, keeping it left, everything lined up. Stretch straight forward. A little bit of an odd angle, but it feels like a different stretch, stretching different part of your hamstrings. Good, bend back into the front knee. Hands to the blocks. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. And then step your feet forward between the blocks. You might have to widen them again. Take a moment there. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Think connection through the rib cage. Sits bones back, extend the arms. Good, hands to heart center. Close your eyes as your hands come down. If you feel super balanced, hopefully you do. And then open your eyes and we're just gonna do some squats. So bend, and straighten. Try and keep the rib cage back as you do this, but move the sits bones back. And just keep going. This is 4. You can go as shallow or as deep as you want. This is 5. Keep the rib cage intact. Sits bones move back. 6. 7. 8. Long back of neck, see if you have that. 9. And 10, pause there, maybe turn the toes out, come down all the way to a deep squat. And breathe. I'm just hugging my upper arms with my knees. It feels kind of nice. Feels like work. My shins are starting to ache a little bit. I don't know about yours. Good. And then come on back up to a forward fold if you can, if you're not stuck there. And then guess I'm going to do it this way. Come all the way up to standing and turn towards the middle. You two, you guys can turn whatever way you want and take a wide stance. And turn your feet out slightly because we're just going to move to one side, bend the knee, straighten the opposite leg, come back up. Just being mindful, switch sides. See if you can keep weight in both feet. Yeah, if it doesn't feel good on your knees, adjust how you're turning your feet. You might have to shift them slightly as you do this. And just do 2 more each side. And then come back to center. Turn your feet forward and just come into a forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. I'm grabbing my shins and pulling in a little bit because it feels really good. Can do whatever feels good in that forward position. And then the way you came down, come all the way back up to standing. Turn your front foot forward. I'm going to put my block where I want it because I'm going to straighten the front leg and then think of your core, rib cage back. Add the arms. And see if you can feel that connection all the way long back of neck through the top of the head, and then just slowly fold into triangle pose. Notice what a difference it makes when you have the core connection. And Just see if you can bring both arms forward and really feel that connection. Rib cage doesn't pop out, lengthen through the top of the head, and then come on back up. Woo, release your hands. I wasn't planning to do that, but I wanted to see how it felt for you. Switch sides. And check your alignment, check your core. Keep lengthening using that core strength. Add the arms. And when you feel ready, triangle pose. Yeah, you can move the block. I forgot to say that. You can by your left foot. Yeah. No, you weren't, because I said front foot and then other side. So you're opposite of what Jeanette is. You can grab your ankle. Feel that connection. Rib cage back. Neutral spine along through the back of the neck and through the head. Bring your arm by your ear, your top arm, and then add the other one. Think really connected. Good. And again, come on back up. Ooh, turn the feet forward. And then step your feet. There, that's why you need that. So you can do that. Okay, come on back up to the front of your mat. Your blocks again. We're just gonna do a quick sun salute. So prepare by just tapping into your breath. Next, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Feel the core connection, pranam, neutral spine when you pranam. And fold. Step the right foot back, deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Right hand to your hip. Slide the right foot in a little bit, move the block out. Lift ardha chandrasana. Think of that core connection. Lengthening, maybe extending the arm. Nice, you guys. Hand back to the hip. Bend your front knee. Touch it down, slide everything back. Turn the heel up and step back to downward facing dog. Feeling that core connection, extend the right leg. Knee to nose. Rounding the upper back, lower back, step it through. Good, ground the back foot down. Left hand to the hip, just kind of look at your front foot. Slide that back foot in, slide the block out. Ardha Chandrasana when you're ready. Feel the core connection. You don't even have to look up, but feel the rib cage back, shoulder blades on the back. Maybe extend the arm. Lengthen through the top of the head. Good, hand to the hip, bend the front knee. Touch the foot down, slide the block back, and then just move it back so that when you turn the heel up, you're in a deep lunge. And then step back, downward facing dog. Step the blocks off the mat. You're on your hands. Downward facing dog. Rib cage back. Sit bones back. Forward to plank. Lower to the mat. You're in the habit now of finding that rib cage back, lift to cobra. And lower. Now just see if you can keep that strength in the core. Press the feet down and see if maybe you can lift to up dog. See how safe it is when you have that rib cage back connection and lower down. Good, curl the toes. Push up and back. Downward facing dog. And lower the knees. Swivel your feet to one side and go ahead and come on down to your back. Hug your knees in. And just make circles with your knees. You can grab the kneecaps. And switch directions. Good. And then stretch your legs and your arms up towards the ceiling to shake them out again. Good, now keeping your arms there. Bend your knees toward your armpits. Reach in front of your shins to find your feet for full happy baby. Now just notice, probably when you did that, you feel your low back pressing down. See if you could find rib cage back and then a little bit of a curve in the low back. So you have a neutral spine. Press your feet into your hands. You'll be able to get that better. Happy baby. And when you find that, just kind of roll around. Whatever feels good. Bring your feet together. Move them out wide. Whatever. Straight one. Just play a little bit. Release. Hug your knees in. And just allow everything to kind of relax in that position. Bring your feet to the mat. Soles of the feet together. Let the knees open wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Just for fun here, just kind of rock side to side. Kind of like you did in Happy Baby. If it feels good. Thinking neutral spine. Good, and then bring the knees up. Bring the feet hip distance. Hands by your hips. Think rib cage back. Neutral spine though. Maybe even press the sacrum down. Keep that as you press into your feet. Lift up to Setu Bandha. Notice you can keep the muscles engaged in your core, but allow your heart lift a little more. Setu Bandha. Lengthening the back of the neck. Lengthening through the top of the head, even though it's at a different angle. Good, and release down. Bring your right ankle over your left thigh. And then just rock your hips or your legs side to side a little bit. And then go ahead and switch left ankle over right thigh, rock side to side. Keeping a really engaged core. You feel nice stretch in your hips. Good, and then pause. Stretch your legs long. Stretch your arms long, really take the moment to stretch. You can even let your ribs pop out here if you want. And then go ahead and stretch into Shavasana. Feeling connected to your breath. Allow everything, especially your core, to relax. Just be supported. Find your jaws still clenched. Release it. In Brené's book, she talks about how we should live with a strong back, a soft front, and a wild heart. She says, the mark of a wild heart is earned in the wilderness, but there's also a daily practice that I learned from this that is critical to our quest for true belonging. This practice changed how I show up in my life and the way I lead. She says, stop walking through the world looking for confirmation that you don't belong. You'll always find it because you've made that your mission. Stop scouring people's faces for evidence that you're not enough. You'll always find it because you've made that your goal. True belonging and self-worth are not goods. We don't negotiate their value with the world. The truth about who we are lives in our hearts. Our call to courage is to protect our wild heart against constant evaluation, especially our own. No one belongs here more than you. Well, my wish for you is that you truly love yourself on Valentine's Day, but all year round. Appreciate who you are in your heart. Tuning back into your breath. Oh, it's still there. Notice your core as you breathe in. And allow it to expand a little bit in all directions. And as you breathe a little bit deeper, allow it to expand even more. And then just feel that girdle effect as you exhale to really release it all. Breath. Letting go of your breath. Start to move fingers, toes, your wrists, ankles. Knees. Draw to your chest. Take your time coming back on up to seated. Bring hands to heart center. I love you guys. Namaste. I'll see y'all maybe on the road, maybe in 3 weeks. I don't know.